Hello, and welcome to episode 62 of Anime Territory. I'm your host this week, Jonathan Ruhal. With me, as always, is my co-host, Benjamin Chocolate Rabbit Shabbing.
Okay.
This week we are talking about My Love Story with Yamada at level 999. That's, I believe, the official anime title.
That is the official anime title.
Okay. This is just finished airing spring season anime. We did not cover it in our...
Okay. I thought it was a season before.
Nope. It was spring season anime.
Okay.
We watched it after the spring season, so... Though I think technically we watched some of it before we recorded the wrap-up, but we didn't...
Yeah, it was like a couple episodes.
Yeah, we watched like 3 or 4 episodes at most. So we didn't even mention it then, because we're like, well, we'll just do a whole episode on it.
Mm-hmm.
I will say, I'm just going to start moving into spoiler-free talk. I will say
Okay.
this is my bread and butter.
Oh,
This is what I look for in a seasonal anime. It's just like, not like a crazy battle show, though I'm fine with those. It's just a grounded romantic comedy. There's not really a harem in this. There's sort of like, we follow the main character doesn't have a harem because we follow one girl, and the other guy is just like, there's like a little kid that has a crush on me, and one
technically
other person.
Everybody has a crush on him.
Okay, that's fair. But he doesn't know most of those people.
Yes.
They know him, but he doesn't know them. I guess to give a general premise here, Akane is a college girl.
Mm-hmm.
She started playing an online game to like make her boyfriend happy, though I guess she likes it for the most part.
Yeah, she ends up liking him.
Yeah, I think she liked it at the start of the show too. She's like, yeah, I liked it, but I don't know if she would have kept it if the rest of the show didn't happen.
That's true.
But the show starts with her getting dumped by her boyfriend because her boyfriend is like, I met somebody else in the game and I'm in love with her now. So she's like,
well,
that explains why you're so cold to me. Fuck. Then she decides she goes and plays the game, possibly for the last time. Yeah. I don't know. She's like thinking.
She tries to like vent about everything.
Mm-hmm.
She meets up with a random like guild member in a party.
Yeah, and
he's just like, I don't care.
It's like he's talking to her. He's like, "Are you gonna be like farming for this area?" She's like, "Nope.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just doing stuff." And he's like, "Can you leave then?" And she's like, "I'm gonna go off on this guy."
Yep.
And then he's just like, "Okay, I don't care.
I'll leave." So it makes her mad.
Then she decides, I'll attend this. She sees like an ad for like a big in-person event.
Meetup something or another.
Meetup thing. She's like, I bet he's going to be there. I'm going to look stunning. I'm going to make him regret dumping me and show up there too.
Mm-hmm.
She trips over herself. She's helped up by
the hot guy.
Some hot dude. And then
realizes
it's the guild member just by him being like, I'm like, he says the exact same thing. Like, I don't care about that, or whatever the phrase was. She's like, wait, are you Yamada? He's like, hey, yeah, I guess. And then she sees her boyfriend with the boyfriend, I should say, sees her ex-boyfriend sees Yamada and is like, oh shit, you're that streamer / professional.
You that Yamada guy.
I follow you. And what are you doing here? And then Akane is just like, this is my boyfriend.
And he's like, oh, you're not. And she's like,
I will give you this promo rare item. He's like,
okay.
I guess. Afterwards, she gets really drunk and he's trying to leave, but she doesn't let him. And then she gets too drunk. She wakes up in his apartment. She's like,
What
What happened? That's the first episode. I'm realize I just started describing the first episode, but that's the premise.
That's usually what like the synopsis of shows is.
Yeah, it's like here's the setup.
Yeah,
the first episode.
This is the setup.
So there's, but let's just kind of go into like general feelings about this show. I really liked it. I would probably want to give it like a 7, maybe an 8.
That's exactly my thoughts. It's a solid romance.
Yeah, it's like some 7s. This is a stronger 7 than others, if that makes sense. Like I had more fun with this, but I can't really say
this is like
it's
on the dot 7, no less. It's you can go higher if you want.
Yeah, so I would not say on the dot 7.
Whatever. It's extra 7.
Yeah. It's just like, okay, this did what it needed to do. It was like a it's not a piece of art, but it gets the job done.
It's like a Marvel movie.
Yeah. It gets the job done. Did I have a lot of fun? Sure. Was it exciting at times, dramatic at times? Did it make me want to...
Was it kind of boring at times?
Yeah. Did it make me want to cry, if not necessarily like actually getting me to cry? Like it made me feel sad and happy, not abundantly so, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Not to the point where I'm just like, these characters, I love them so much.
Nah.
Like if you ask me a year from now to name the characters in this, I'd be like, well, there's Yamada. Because his name's in the title. Can I tell you Akani's name a year from now? Maybe.
I don't know if I could tell you her name now.
It's Akani. I don't know the rest of her name.
It's Akani Kinoshita.
It gets the job done.
Mm-hmm.
Makes me feel what I want to feel when I'm watching a romance anime.
Yeah. Again, it's a solid romance.
Mm-hmm.
It's fun. It doesn't go too far. Or I guess it doesn't.
It's not like
you.
It's not a melodrama.
Yeah.
It doesn't have like drama for the sake of drama.
Mm-hmm.
It's maybe a little slower.
I feel it's the weakest when it tries to do a little bit of that with like some character stuff.
Maybe. I mean, do we want to like get into spoilers at this point? We've given it our rating.
Sure.
At this point,
it's a 7.
Yeah. So what specific stuff are you talking about?
I guess whenever it tries to like, again, Akani is our main character.
Mm-hmm.
So anytime it shifts to another character and like kind of their issues, it kind of loses me a little bit.
Okay, so you're talking like when spoiled brat Runa is like, no more people in our guild. I want
that, and it's that scene where it's like it's her perspective basically. It's like I've been the spoiled kid, and my parents spoil me, my brother spoils me, so now I have no friends in my class because I don't want to talk to anybody. It's just like, okay.
Yeah, that's a little like melodramatic.
Mm-hmm. They do the same thing with Tsubaki, his like classmate. That's
like
not
Tsubaki.
as bad, but it's still like, okay, you know what's going to happen at the end though, so I don't really care about this.
You're just like this character that came around like episode
8
briefly in like episode 8 and became more a character in episode 10. You're like okay, I get that she likes him and has for a while.
I've been watching this show and I'm assuming it's going to end how I think, so it's just like, this isn't needed.
Yeah. But I felt like it was handled well.
It was fine. It's just, I felt that's the weaker parts for me.
And it wasn't like, I mean, like there are shows where like the non-main girl will be like, I love you, go out with me. And the guy will be like, okay. Mm-hmm. And then there's like a several episode arc where they're dating and then it turns out, oh, no, you still have feelings for this other girl, and it's this whole big played out drama thing.
They did that in Fuka, right?
Yeah, spoilers for Fuka.
Well, we covered it.
They also did it in the in the prequel to Fuka, Suzuka.
Okay.
Which is not really, it's not I wouldn't say it's a prequel, because it came out first.
Yeah.
But the previous incarnation there, the story of Fuka's parents.
Gotcha.
They did that. But that was a 24 episode show, whereas Fuka's like a 12 episode show. Anyway, spoilers for Suzuka and Fuka. The girl he dates first does not end up with him. Spoilers.
I can give you a couple of other nitpicks I had.
Yeah.
Akane is kind of annoying at the beginning.
Okay, but also, I've been dumped before. You're kind of a little shitbag when you're dumped. Okay. You're kind of you're sad and a burden on other people.
Okay, I'm just saying. I think she's kind of annoying. It's just like he doesn't want to talk to you. You don't know him. Leave him alone. I don't care about your necklace.
All right. Just saying that's believable.
Same thing goes with Yamada in terms of him kind of being too oblivious sometimes.
Yeah. Too oblivious is a common
it's
romance
like,
anime.
I get that you're like kind of secluded, antisocial, whatever, but it's like there's just some cues, like social cues that you should just know.
Yeah, well, I'm specifically thinking like when somebody there's this he goes to a convenience store and the checkout girl is like, "Oh, hey, you come in here all the time. I see I used to go to your school. Like I graduated like last year. Like could I know your name?" And he's just like, "What's the point?" It's like
also it's like I don't have time to give you my name. I'm kind of busy.
Yeah.
And he sits there for 5 minutes in an internal monologue. It's like you could have just said your name.
You could have just said it and that was it.
Or be like, "Sorry, I don't give my name to strangers." It's a better reason than I don't have time for this.
It's just like
give her a fake name.
Well, he wouldn't have given her a fake name. That's not something he would have done.
That's true.
But it's just like, but then it also just flashes to him being like, "Man, I really don't have time." It's like, it doesn't take long to say your name.
Mm-hmm. Unless it's a really long name, but his is just Yamada.
It's not like she was confessing her love to you.
Yet.
Like all those other girls that you don't know. She was trying to get to know you. Mm-hmm. That's,
But those are just nitpicks. Everything else is fine.
Yeah. I would say some of that stuff, it's less of an offender than some other shows that I've watched. An oblivious male character and an annoying female character. I've seen way worse examples.
Okay. I'm sure I have too. I just can't think of them.
As far as like annoying female characters, I would go Familiar of Zero, which I watched like all like 4 seasons of that, or however many seasons of that there were. But she was just a physically abusive tsundere.
Ooh.
Bad example.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad we've gotten away from that. Oblivious MCs. Literally any harem protagonist ever.
What's that? I think there's 2 shows that you watched. It was like, what is it? My Senpai Won't Notice Me or something?
Oh, yeah. My Senpai is Annoying?
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy. He's a dense motherfucker.
The other one might be... it's that one with the chick has the big boobs. And it's like...
You're going to have to be more specific.
I know. The title's like her name, I think. My Senpai, like Ozuni-chan or something. It's like she's friends with a dude in college because like she's worried about him. I can't think of the name. I know you watched it.
So she's in college.
They're both in college.
She's the senpai,
I think.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. I think
the dad's super hot.
Yeah. You're not. She's not the senpai. The other guy is the senpai.
Okay.
Uzaki-chan wants to hang out.
Yes.
Yeah. No, she's not the senpai. That threw me off.
Sorry.
Yeah, she's annoying, and he's. I wouldn't say he's oblivious.
Okay.
Because like at the end of the second, spoilers for Uzaki-chan wants to hang out. At the end of the second season, he's very much like, yes, I've got feelings for her, and I want to ask her out. And then they blue ball us by him being like, but goddamn it, she's really annoying me right now, so I'm not going to ask her this time. And we're like, come on! I know it's coming up soon. You're going to end season 2.
I think that might be more just an example of like the girl maybe being too annoying.
Yeah, she was definitely annoying in that. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. But there's oblivious MCs are all over the damn place.
Yeah, I know.
Monthly Girls Nozaki, something like that. What was that one in?
I know which one you're talking.
Monthly Girls Nozaki-kun. The main character in that is a manga writer. Is oblivious as all get out. I love fireworks too. Fuck you, fireworks.
Wait, you gonna watch fireworks on 4th of July?
We lit off some for my parents at my parents' property, but it wasn't like they weren't big ones, and
gotcha.
I did not try to watch the firework performance that Effingham was putting on, even though it's visible from our front yard.
When at Diedrich were okay. It was like 20 minutes. It's just like, come on.
That's it. Yeah, fireworks.
Like 5 minutes.
We're going off on our fireworks rant again. I feel like we've done this before.
I think we do this every 4th of July.
We did this before 4th of July.
If you're gonna do fireworks, just do the grand finale.
Do the grand finale for 40 minutes.
Like 5 minutes. I don't need 40 minutes of grand finales. You've seen one firework, you've seen them all.
Well, so here's the thing. I thought you were complaining about it's 20 minutes and we made this whole big event for 20 minutes of fireworks.
No, it was 20 minutes of one firework, one firework, one firework, 2 fireworks, 3 fireworks, 2 fireworks, 1 firework.
See, I'm coming at this as a perspective of 1 year in college, or maybe it was right after I graduated college and I was living in that apartment. Well, I guess I was taking summer classes then. So we went to St. Louis, because we were in Edwardsville. We went to St. Louis to watch their fireworks display. And it's like we parked like a mile away from the park or whatever that they were shooting them off on. And we had this big long walk. And then it's like 20 minutes of firework. And then we had to walk another mile back. Mm-hmm. So it's like we spent twice the amount of time walking as we did watching fireworks. And for me, I'm like, that wasn't worth it. Make it a little bit longer. But I started to think like, an hour of fireworks? That doesn't sound good.
Yeah.
Somewhere between maybe 30 minutes to 40 minutes.
I guess my spiel is just make it short, make it a lot.
But at that point, it's like, you feel cheated because you're only there for however many minutes, you know? Like,
I don't care. I was there for 3 hours. So.
Why were you there for 3 hours?
It was a family party.
Okay. So they were just visible from where your family party was at. Okay. Well, then you don't have any right to complain because you had other entertainment around.
Oh, it wasn't like you were great entertainment at a family party.
All right. I'm sorry that you don't like spending time with your family. I don't like spending time with my extended family, but I like spending time with my nieces and nephews and my parents and my siblings. Okay. So,
which I do too. It's just it was extended family, so it's just like I don't talk to these people.
Yeah, but your core family was there.
That's true.
But it's a little weird when you're just talking to your core family at an extended family party. Mm-hmm. Especially if they're going around and talking to people too. And you're like, okay, well, I guess I'll just sit here.
That's what I did. Just sat there.
It's like a latch. I try to latch onto one of my family members at an extended family member party. Like, I'm just following my brother around. Because we can talk about Ninja Turtles and magic. Or I guess I'll sit next to my mom.
I sat on one spot. And I didn't move. Whoever sat next to me, that's who I sat next to.
Did we talk? Maybe.
That's up to them. I'm not doing it.
Okay.
We gotta go back on track.
Yeah.
That was our 3rd annual fireworks field.
Again, we talked about fireworks like 4 months ago.
Okay.
And went off about them. Anyway. So we'll give a little bit more about what happens in this show. I mean, we've obviously spoiled.
You want to do
things.
it by plot or character?
I don't know. Just let me go off here. I think I'm going to do
I'll
it.
just let you go off.
I'm going to do it by plot.
Let's go off by it like a firework.
Okay. So after that initial episode, when she wakes up in his apartment and she's like, "Did we have sex?" And he's like, "No, you passed out and I don't know where you live. So I brought you here." And she's like, "Oh, okay, thank you." And then I guess she runs into him somewhere else.
Train station, I think.
Yeah, sees that he's a high schooler. He's wearing a high school uniform. He's a senior in high school, so it's a little less creepy.
I think we brought it up, but he's hot.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. People are asking about
super nexy.
Yep, he's got that gorgeous neck. It's not drawn as much attention as it was in the whatever that anime that we watched because of Dylan.
You keep going, I'll find it.
Okay. She sees him next to somebody, and she also overhears him talking to the guildmaster Rurihime about how much time they've spent together in starting this guild, and gets the wrong impression that they might be dating, even though he said he has no interest in romance. And then their guild is like, "Hey, we're having an offline meetup at this." Is it Forest of Saber or Savior?
Savior.
Forest of Savior.
Yes.
Is the game that they play.
Also, the Nexi show was Blue Spring Ride.
Yes. Aoharu Ride is the Japanese name.
All right.
Well, I said that because Dylan didn't know that it was called Blue Spring Ride when he told me to read the manga.
Okay. They're going to the park to this meetup.
Yep. She's a little lost. She runs into another hot guy.
Yeah.
This one is 19 and technically out of college. He sees on her phone where they're going. I guess maybe she dropped her phone or something. He doesn't just start talking to her out of the blue.
I think he picks up her phone and sees that she's looking for this place.
And he's like, "Oh, are you going to the Forest of Savior Cafe?"
Mm-hmm.
And she's like,
Yes.
And so he just starts going on and on about video games. She's just like, "Ugh."
This
is why I don't like boys who play video games, because she's still getting over her ex there. But at least he's not being a creep. At
least he's not that other guy we meet.
I got notes about him. She sees the girl that she saw next to Yamada, and Yamada's there too, and some old dude.
Yeah.
And the person that she was with was also there in the group. But she sees the girl, and she's like, "Oh, you must be Rurihime. You dress just like her.
Look just yeah."
And and you're a middle school girl, which is how Rurihime acts. Yeah. And she doesn't get corrected on it right away. And then I think the next episode, they're like, "No, I'm Rurihime," and it's the hot guy that was showing her the way. "This is my little sister Runa. You haven't met her." And this is a dude, you haven't met him because he's always in the dungeon.
Yes.
And you're too low level to go hang out there. But they're having a nice time, except Runa is not having another girl that Yamada seems to have some interest in. Mm-hmm. And also just because it's like, "No, this is my safe spot. How can we... You're an intruder."
Yeah. She doesn't like change.
Yeah. She's not very nice to her at the meetup there.
Mm-hmm.
And then what is it? Is there anything actually happen at that meetup event other than they all just kind of have a nice time and Runa's a bit of a bitch?
She drops her drink.
Oh, and she breaks a glass.
Mm-hmm. That's all I remember.
Okay. Well, the important part was that Runa didn't like her.
Yes.
Runa calls her later when Akane is with Yamada.
Mm-hmm.
And says, "Sorry I was so mean. Let's meet up again Saturday."
This is after she made him a bunch of food, right?
Yeah.
Because they have the conversation where he doesn't eat any good meals because he lives alone and he's a gamer guy.
Yeah, so she's like, "Here's some leftovers in Tupperware.
Yeah.
Eat a proper meal, god dang it."
But
Yamada is like, you got plans with her on Saturday, but I tutor her on Saturday.
I guess.
Maybe I'm confused on something, or she's doing something afterwards. Who knows? He doesn't say anything.
Mm.
Turns out that Runa was like, oh, I used my brother's account and messaged some person that wanted to be his friend to go meet up with her instead.
Yes.
To show her right. And this is where I'm going to go into some of my notes here.
Go for it.
Number 1, don't agree to meet strangers on the internet alone.
Mm-hmm.
That's more for when she goes to the original meetup. She probably should have brought a friend. It turned out okay this time around, but it could have turned out a lot worse, as we'll see later.
Yamada was there. She knows Yamada.
That's true. But anyway, I just wanted to put that out there.
Okay.
Don't agree to meet strangers on the internet, which she did not agree to meet a stranger on the internet at this point.
Correct.
But Runa decided it was fine for her to meet a stranger on the internet.
That's a real dick move.
Because that could be dangerous.
Like this guy.
And this is where I'm going to get into some of my other notes here. Don't follow people into the restroom.
Yeah.
Especially if it's a restroom that you're not allowed to go into.
Yeah. Especially if you're a guy and you're going into the girls' restroom. Don't do it.
Don't try to go into their stall.
No.
Like this guy does.
Don't care if there's good intentions. Don't do it.
Yeah. Also, believe/listen to people when they tell you something. Because she was very clear that she is not Rurihime. And the guy was not listening or believing her. One of those two. Is being a total creep.
Yes.
Don't be a creep.
Don't be a creep.
And don't agree to meet people on the internet that you don't know in real life without some sort of safety net. Because that situation can happen. Where there's some creepy guy that follows you into the bathroom.
Correct. Have your exit buddy.
Yes. Meet in a public place with a lot of people.
I mean, they did meet at a cafe.
Yeah, I know. I'm just spewing some general wisdom right now.
Have that, like, phone call trick.
Mm-hmm. Have your friend call you and be like, oh, I gotta go if
my
if
cat's
things are weird.
Dead.
My mom slipped and fell. I gotta go home.
I left my refrigerator running.
I better go catch it. I'm sorry, somebody just called me and said my refrigerator was running and I've gotta go catch it.
Sorry, this guy on the phone just said you were a creep. I gotta go.
They've been watching you from the bushes. Okay.
Sorry, I'm a super secret spy.
After that, when Runa like somehow tells Yamada that, I don't know why she tells him, if he's just like, weren't you supposed to like meet up with her?
I think he just like kind of calls her out on it. / what's the guy's
like,
name?
Ita? It's like, why did you stand her up like that? Ata? You talking to my older brother?
Yeah.
It's like, why'd you stand? I didn't stand her up. I sent
Yeah.
somebody to go meet her. She's not going to be alone. It's like, that's really dangerous. And then the brother was just like, yeah, I don't know that guy.
Or was it that, or just like, that guy's like really creepy.
First of all, I don't know that person. And they sent a lot of weird... There's a reason I don't know them, because they sent a lot of weird fan mail. This is dangerous. How dare you? They all go to rescue her. It turns out the guy, even though he followed her into the bathroom, just thought she might have been sick or something.
Just trying to give her medicine or something.
Yeah. Also, another rule: don't take drugs from people that slip it to you in the bathroom that you've just met.
Mm-hmm. To be fair, it was sealed.
There are machines out there that can seal things, Ben.
Not like that, though.
I don't know how to break this to you, Ben, but yeah, there are. Because,
Name one.
Well, any actual medication dealer obviously is able to seal their package like that. Like the fact that a factory can do it means that it's probably possible for a high-level drug lord to do it too.
You think that guy was a high-level drug lord?
No, I think that guy might have purchased something from somebody who is connected to a high-level drug lord.
It was
It's
connected.
down. Yeah, well, it's just like your local dealer buys from a bigger dealer.
Probably bought it from
the bigger dealer buys from the high level drug lord.
He probably bought it from Takiza,
Just like
the
how
old guy, because that guy has connections somehow.
I have a feeling that guy used to be a big shot company executive and then quit and runs a strawberry farm now.
Or
does both.
drug lord.
Or drug lord.
Now that you put it in my mind, I think he's a drug lord. Strawberry Fields is just a cover.
Strawberry Fields is in reference to all the blood he's shed.
Yes.
Okay. Now I want to listen to the Beatles. Anyway, don't be that guy. Don't do what Runa did either. That's dick move.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, while they're all there, they're like, you guys go get me medicine. You leave. Can you go do that? So she's alone with Runa, and she's just like, yeah, you'll get scolded enough. I just want to chat and be friends. At this point, Runa's like, all right, you're fine. I'm gonna potentially let you in to the inner circle here. Mm-hmm. This is when we get to the area that you said was a little like, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
Which is, we hear Runa's like, yeah, I was kind of spoiled and don't have friends. Except that's fine because I've got so many online friends. But she's like, okay, I'm letting Akane in. And healthfully, it's a very healthy mindset. She's like, I realize that we're not on equal footing here. Because she is much older than me and has other friends. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to be friendly and hopefully not a burden. Though she is a little, when her Akane's other friend Momo shows up,
she gets like super jealous.
Yeah, of the time. So, which we're going to talk about Momo for a little bit. She's like very different from Akane, but they're close friends. Mm-hmm. She's constantly going out on group dates because she wants to get a boyfriend, but she's got too high standards.
I looked up the things and it gave a specific term for like group dating in Japan.
Mm-hmm. I saw that term too, and I'm like, that must mean group dates.
Yeah, it's Gokon.
Yeah. Probably just means group dates.
Yeah, that's what it means. I just thought it was interesting.
Okay. It's like a whole like sort of like thing you can do. It's not like it's like an accepted like, okay,
it's like
we're no, that's what it is. It's a mixer. Yeah. So it's just like we don't really know each other that well, or like maybe one person from each side knows each other sort of thing, but then the rest just brought friends. But it's not
probably kind of a bit.
It's not really something we do.
A little bit more casual than usual.
Yeah, it's not something we usually do around here. Mm-hmm. Whereas you're more likely to like meet somebody who's a friend of a friend through like an informal like party sort of thing. Where this is more of a formal like, okay, we've agreed these 3 people and these 3 people are going to show up, and then maybe we'll pair off if things go well. But
so it happened in Domestic Girlfriend.
Yeah. Yep. yeah, that happened. First episode.
Are we ever going to cover that?
I never watched the last episode because it's just like the things are going to get too spicy for me, man. No, I know what happens at the end because of Giggs videos. Yeah. So I'm like,
nope, I don't need to watch it.
Yeah, it's just a little too spicy for me, I think.
Okay. We watched every episode.
I'm white. I don't like spice.
Too much salt that I get spice.
Just like what is it? Rent a Girlfriend. Too spicy. I don't want to go down that road of like. Yeah, I don't want to go down that road. Sorry.
I think I only watched the first episode of that.
I watched the second episode without you, I think. Okay. And I'm like, no, I can't do it.
Yeah. I think that's why I didn't watch it, just because you weren't going to watch it. So I'm like, okay, well, we're not watching this one. Mm-hmm. Was Girlfriend too much spice for you, or was that just bad?
I watched more of that. I think it was just bad.
Okay.
Because I watched to like episode 7 of that, and I'm just like, this like has potential to be too spicy, but it's also just too like clean. Like it's like, oh, they're not doing anything.
It should be salty, but it's not.
It should
sorry.
It should be spice. The premise makes you think that it should be spicier, but it's more tame, and they're just like, oh well, I guess neither of us can make a move because it wouldn't be fair to the other one. And it's like, don't do that.
Just leave. This guy's a dick.
This guy doesn't know how to say no to people.
Yeah. This isn't a good sign of possible relationships in the future.
Yeah. I'm not saying you can't be in a polyamorous relationship. But that girl was not ready to be in one. Yeah. When he decided, well, let's just ask. It is something you've got to like work out and be a little bit more applicable and amenable to so that all parties are happy.
Anyways.
So after that...
Do you have anything else to say about Momo?
Momo's good.
I like Momo.
She probably wouldn't like me.
No. She'd hate us.
She would hate us when we were her age, at the very least.
Yeah.
I don't know. Us now, we're a little bit more, like, chill about things. I don't know. I feel more chill about things than when I was 22.
I don't know. I might not have been as much of a loser as I am now.
Well, I don't know what you mean by that. I would say you're the same amount of loser. Wow. So look at it this way, Ben. You're thinking of, like, the fact that you don't talk to people very often.
Mm-hmm.
But you got a well-paying job.
It's true. You
don't live with your parents.
It's true.
I think that you have good insights on things and are not well-read, but versed in things. And that you're not... We watch man-child-like things, but we also watch serious things and have appreciation. We're a little... We might even be a little snobby at times.
Yeah.
But that can sometimes be seen as cultured. So I would say we're both more mature than we were when we were 20. Again, our antisocial behaviors make us a little bit losers, but that's just being antisocial and not necessarily being a child.
Okay.
Or bad person.
Huh.
So, now, would somebody like that ever meet people like us? Probably not. Because we wouldn't be in the situations.
Everybody in Japan is hot, apparently.
This is a true statement.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Everybody in Japan is hot.
According to anime.
Yeah. Which, I have a whole theory about that. You just don't see a lot of ugly people unless there's like two scenarios where you might see ugly people. One is it's played for gags, which is not a good thing. Mm-hmm. I don't like when that is a thing. Or two, they're like seen as like also having like, oh, this is not a good person. Like the Witch of the Waste.
Okay.
Is like,
wait, what?
The Witch of the Waste is in Howl's Moving Castle is depicted as slovenly and kind of gross looking, and
matter of opinion.
And she's not a good person. She's an evil witch. So like, are they just displaying anime people as beautiful because all people are beautiful? That's a good view of this.
Nah, as opposed. It might be, honestly, it was just a little easier to draw it like that.
It's true.
If everybody kind of looks the same, it's a little easier to draw.
It's true. Because you don't have to like, oh, there's some grotesque wart on her face or something.
Or just more like, I don't have to do that.
Yeah.
I don't have to do an extra that every frame. I can just...
Yeah. Just straight lines.
Yeah, you know?
So is it unhealthy body image? Just a little bit of that in there. But I choose to see it as all people are beautiful, except for the truly terrible people.
Okay.
And when it's played for laughs, I don't like that part. Or like I guess like there's an episode of Space Dandy where when he goes to the high school and there's the musical episode,
Yeah.
where it's like that girl was seen as like unattractive, but she really wasn't.
No.
First of all, so that was done tastefully, I think. Anyway, that's my whole like approach on that. Like you could look at it negatively or you could look at it positively. It's like, oh yeah, people are
my theory. Just easier to draw.
Sure, whatever. It sells more if people are beautiful too. It's the body image thing. It's 100% that. But I can be delusional if I want.
Okay.
Anyway, so yeah, she's as the story goes on, she's spending more time, with this guild group. They decide, hey, let's go to the culture festival that Yamada school is having. Ada used to go to that school too, so he's an alumni. Runa wants to go to that school next year. She's playing Force of Savior. She's hanging out with him in real life. Her computer breaks at one point, and they're like, Yamada, go fix it.
Yeah. Go fix it.
But you would be better at fixing the stage. He's like, go fix it. So they loan her a bunch of like replacement parts.
Runa tries to like play matchmaker a little bit there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she tries to like do a lucky pervert moment by like knocking them into each other, and it just ends up hurting Yamada's eye.
But we get that moment.
Yeah, we get a moment where they're like looking at each other's eyes. They go to the culture festival. People at the school are like jealous that Yamada is spending time with with a beautiful older woman. Especially we meet Tsubaki, and she might have shown up a little bit.
This is the first time I think she's like actually
like taken
part
and stuff. We meet his other friend whose name I did not write down.
I didn't either.
He's definitely like trying to play like matchmaker with Tsubaki and Yamada because he doesn't know.
Also, he does that baller move where he like enters Yamada into like the popularity contest or whatever.
The pageant, the Mr. Beautiful pageant or whatever.
Just like, nope, it's me, ladies.
He refused to show up, so I will go in his place. And they're like, boo!
Boo!
Get off the stage!
You ruined the song!
I was thinking the same thing. Okay. Tsubaki sees him with Akane, and she's like, ooh. Yikes.
Might have to move my plan up a little bit.
They like tease the two of them about like, well, people think you're dating, why don't you just date? And Yamada is just sort of like going along with the tease for the most part, but maybe a little bit of them not.
So I think he's too oblivious to realize the joke.
No, I think he knew it was a tease. I think he was too oblivious to realize that, like, this is embarrassing for her. Okay. And she runs away because she's not like, wait a minute. Because she doesn't know Ada as well. He knew that Ada was being his typical self. Though Ada might have also been teasing for a higher purpose this time around. To get them thinking about it.
Starting?
Mm-hmm. She runs away and he calls her by her first name, which I think is Akane.
Yeah, I think so.
I don't know what her last name is.
Kinoshita.
Okay. For the first time. And it's just like, yeah, sorry, I was just going along with the bit. I didn't mean to, like, embarrass you.
She's a no-bit person.
Mm-hmm. No bits. Let's see. We've got... After that, it's sort of like Tsubaki's time to shine. Akane is like, okay, I'm interested in this boy. But before I get into something, I gotta know why I was dumped. Like, is there some, like, flaw?
You're forgetting where Akane almost dies.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Okay.
This is... she about dies, and then we get to this.
Yeah, okay. It's that causes her to reevaluate herself there. So she's overworked and
has
got a cold.
Gets worse.
Gets a very high fever. Collapses outside while trying to go, like, buy food to make, like, rice.
Mm-hmm.
or something, something easy to eat when you're sick. Yamada sees her collapse. I don't know why he was there to begin with. Maybe he's gonna go check on her or something.
I think he's just checking on her or something.
Because he knew she was sick. Mm-hmm. He takes her to the hospital. They put an IV in her because she won't even she's not able to drink on her own. Yeah. After that, I guess she wasn't in the hospital for very long.
I think it's an outpatient thing. So
it's more a clinic than a hospital.
They can't keep her overnight, so they just gave her.
But they're since she's feeling better after an IV, you can take her back there now that she'll be fine, sort of thing. She wakes up. I don't really remember what happens when she wakes up.
Yamada's sleeping right next to her bed, and then they just have that moment, just one of those cute moments, or whatever. Yeah, he gets into her bed and
she has a leg cramp, and he's like, you gotta stretch it out, and she's like, my leg hurts, I'm about to die. Okay, and he's just grabs her leg on her bed and stretches it out, and it's
yes.
And she's just like, I'm not freaking out so much about him being on my bed. I feel comfortable around this man. At this point, she's like, okay, I think I do like him. But before I go down this road, is there something about me that I should work on? Some flaw that would, make people not like me. Which can be taken multiple ways, but in this way is more, it's not like she thinks there's something wrong with who she is, but is there something she can improve on? Is she a slob? Or, is she overbearing? Is she, these things that, it's...
she was just dumb. She doesn't, I just don't think she wants to go into
She doesn't want to ruin a relationship because of something she did.
Again. Or if it was something she did, she wants to know why or what it was. Mm-hmm. Something like that.
I forgot to mention, there was a scene, probably when she was sick, or maybe when he was working on her computer. I think it was when he was working on her computer. She had fallen asleep, where the ex-boyfriend shows up. I want to make sure she was okay and return all this Tupperware of food that she made for me over our time dating. And he sees Yamada there, and he's like, are they actually dating? Nah.
But Yamada's kind of just hey, she's fine. You don't need
don't worry about her.
You talking to her would make her worse. So
and I think the boyfriend realizes that too. He's or the ex-boyfriend realizes it. He's now that I think about it, it wouldn't be good for me to see her.
You try the Brian Cox thing. Fuck off.
After that, that's jumping backwards, going back to her being sick. So she's worrying about that, and she's like, okay, I'm gonna admit my feelings for him. She
talks to Momo and
Eita about it. Mm-hmm. Eita comes to their rescue when some people that Momo did not like at one of those group dates come up to them and are like, no, we'll sit with you guys. And he comes up as the waiter at this thing that's
let's go back to
you're bothering these other patients. Can I please seat you at another table? He says it kind of nice and they're like, no, I don't know, we know them. And he's like, okay, no, you're bothering these other patients. Can we please move you to them? Patients. Customers. I'm sorry. I work in customer service for dental and orthodontic offices. They call their customers patients. Okay. So patience is ingrained in my brain as a replacement for customers.
Okay.
Sometimes I'll call the offices that I'm talking about I was talking to one of our patients. No, one of our customers. They're not patients. Their customers are patients. Okay. My love story with Yamada at level 999. Yeah, the video game really doesn't play that much of a role in this show either. I just want to point that out. It's just sort of there.
Also, they're not level 999. He's only a level 101.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember ever seeing his actual level, but
I think he's 101 and she's 42 or something.
Yeah, I thought she was 55 at one point.
She might have gotten to it.
Okay. Anyway, she's like, all right. I want both your opinions on this. I'm gonna confess to him. They're like, ooh,
just do it.
Yeah. So she makes plans to do so. She like meets up with him. He's like, oh, I'm on my way to cram school. I can't like
talk right now.
Talk, but like we can walk and talk, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And then she's like, she chickens out a bit. Yeah. She doesn't want to do it in like a public place or whatever. So he goes to cram school, and he's like, I'll call you after. Yeah. You know, we can talk about whatever it is that you want to talk about. She's like, okay, that works. After cram school, it's raining. He's got an umbrella.
Yeah, he does.
His two friends, Tsubaki and the other guy, are at cram school with him. They're like fighting over who's going to take the umbrella with him. They both want the other person to go. And meanwhile, he's just like, what if I just gave you both the umbrella and I left? But eventually Tsubaki goes with him under the umbrella. And then she confesses to him, and it's like, can you just like think about it? Like, just for tonight, just think about me. And he, I guess, takes that literally, and that he's like, hey, I can't have this call because I got to think about this. Like this would, the way I read it or the way I perceived it was he was like, okay, before I have this long conversation with another girl, I should just take my time and think about this. So he texts Akane and is like, some other time, I can't call you tonight, actually. He is talking to Ada the next day, and Ada's like, hey, didn't you just get confessed to? Thinking about Akane. Yeah. And then
it's like, how do you know that?
It's like, well, what'd you say? I'm like, I'm thinking about it. He eventually learns that it was somebody else. But then
the friend's name is
Oka something?
Okamoto.
Okay.
Yeah. I like that guy.
I think he might even like go and talk to Akane vaguely about it. I can't remember why he's talking to Akane, but I guess he's talking vaguely about it. Not that like somebody had confessed to him, but that he was like having trouble doing something.
I don't know if it's exactly here, but you go into like his backstory in that, like, he had this friend in, was it middle school?
I want to say grade school.
Or is this girl who was like bullied all the time? So he like.
Well, she was bullied because she had a crush on him.
Oh, okay.
And like he was Nexy even back then, I guess.
But like he would always like stand up for her.
Yeah, and he's like, I didn't do it because I liked her. It was because the teacher was like, oh yeah, go be nice to her, and I didn't have a reason to not be nice to her.
And then like she started crying and moved, and he never recovered from it because he's just like, well,
yeah. She's like, let's be like this forever. And he's like, I can't commit to that.
Yeah.
Like not even like I don't even think he thought much of it, and that's kind of like stunted his romantic feelings because it was like, oh, this is.
Well, I said something wrong. And it made her cry, so I don't want to ever say anything wrong again.
Yeah, I don't want to. Like, I don't want somebody to get the wrong impression of my motives or whatever. But he gets cheered up by Akane, who's like, "Yeah, just what." I don't even remember the advice that she gives because I don't think she realizes it was about a confession. And she draws her character holding a little sword because they were talking about. She's like, oh, I got this new legendary weapon. He's like, well, what's it called or what's its stats? She's like, stats? What?
Stats?
It looks like this. She draws it on his hand, then draws her little character holding it. But I guess that gives him his resolve. He goes and talks to Tsubaki. Tsubaki is just like, hey, this is not the same superficial, I think you're hot that everybody else has. Like, here's all these reasons. And he's like, okay. I'm sorry.
I like somebody else.
Or I think like Tsubaki is just like that drawing on your. Or she's like asking what about the drawing on his hand. And he's like, oh, a friend of mine was kidding around and drew this. She's like, oh, I know that's the person that you like. And he's like, yeah. And she's like, that's all right. I'm sad, but like I knew this was coming. I held off for too long because I knew you didn't I thought I had all the time in the world because you weren't interested in romance.
Sorry, just the synopsis says, I suck at names. Takizo.
Yeah.
Just says, who apparently is secretly a company president in real life.
Yeah, so that synopsis, I think he was a former president, is what it was. But maybe not. Maybe he's a current president. But like everybody's like, president. You know, like they're having a meetup as is the guild or whatnot at this restaurant that Akizo's friend is just grand opening or whatnot.
Yeah.
And people bring over a bottle of sake, and she's legal drinking age. So she's a little drunk. Runa abandons her in the bathroom, which that's another rule. Don't abandon your drunk friend in the bathroom. that's bad etiquette there. But after Yamada shows up, and then she comes back from the bathroom, and Runa's like, "Oh no, she's back!"
So Yamada takes her back home.
Yeah, and he's just like, "Hey, I like you. And I'll tell you again tomorrow in case you don't remember because you're drunk."
Well, she asked him if he likes her, and he's like,
"Oh, that's true, yeah."
Well, you got me.
Yep. And I'll call you. I'll talk to you tomorrow and tell it to you too, so that you have no excuse of saying you forgot about it. And she's like, "Well, can I call you first thing in the morning?" And then we finally get to what I wanted to be your nickname for this episode, but I realized it was way too big a spoiler, which is Benjamin. Akane is dating a high schooler, Shabby. She has a little bit of like, do I need to be the mature? Like, a friend of hers is like, "Oh yeah, I dated a younger guy, and he wanted me to be this mature, like, mother-like figure." She's like, "Do I need to be like that?" And then there's a little bit of her worrying about that, and it's like, "No, I can just be myself," which is honestly probably the more immature one. Because they've got very different but complementary personality types.
Yes.
Whereas if they were both antisocial, they would not have broken through each other's shells as well. Sort of Tsubaki's problem with him. She wasn't making herself as big a presence in his life as Akane was just naturally. And then there's a great line from like Momo where she's like, "Oh yeah, I saw this coming," and she's like, "Oh really? Was I like that desperately throwing myself at him?" And she's like, "Nope, it was the other way around."
Yeah. Like, okay.
Not really, but okay, I get it.
Whatever.
For his restrained persona, sure.
I mean, he didn't even ask to hold hands.
He just did it. Okay. You want to go talk about dibs for a little bit?
Okay.
Because we've got college girls, so we can actually call dibs in this show.
Yes.
You think...
I didn't write anything down, but I'm pretty sure I have Akane and you have Momo.
And I think that's right, but I could have swore I called dibs on... Did I call dibs on Akane's character? Did I call dibs on Rurihime, which would be Ada's character? I think I might have called dibs on Rurihime, being like, "I'm sure that's a dude in real life, but I don't care." Because that's a girl in the game. Mm-hmm. That's all that matters.
Okay. And then I got dibs on any moms that was showed, I think.
Yeah, you definitely called dibs on Eita and Runa's mom.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we ever saw Akane's mom. They might have talked to her on the phone. Because she sent a bunch... There's an episode where she's like sent a bunch of...
"Hey, I don't have
I sent all your childhood crap to you because I'm turning your room into a gym or whatever."
But yeah, that's dibs count.
Mm-hmm. Now, are we all aboard?
Sure.
Well, there's Akane and Yamada, obviously.
That's the obvious one. That's the ship.
There's what can I guess one of your favorites?
I got 2 ships written down. That's not Yamada and Akane.
Okay, is one of them Momo and Eita?
Yes.
And is one of them Yamada and Eita?
No.
Okay.
Well, that's a good one.
What would be the other?
No, it's Tsubaki and the other friend.
Oh, Tsubaki and the other. Okay.
Akamoto.
Nah, that guy doesn't deserve her.
I like that guy. He seems nice.
Yeah, they're not right for each other. I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell you.
Just, I can see it.
Yeah, I get where you're coming from there. I'm like, I know one of them, obviously. Momo probably like scared off Ada.
There's connection there.
She's just like, so you're single. She like gives her spiel of like, I'm looking for somebody serious about marriage. I'm looking to date somebody.
Ada might be too much of a freak for her.
Ada might, first of all, be a little taken aback by that, and then she might be taken aback by what his personality is like when he's playing games.
Yeah,
but I would want to see more of that.
Mm-hmm.
I'd want to see them at least try something, and then be like, okay, he's weird, but maybe in an endearing way. Like she's initially freaked out, but then something causes her to realize, no, it's actually sort of endearing.
But also, she'll just be like, dude, he's just like super hot too.
I can
think a little bit of this. Let's see how weird it does get.
But yeah, so there's that. There's maybe room for more of this show, but these shows tend to be like, there are definitely shows out there, or mangas I should say, that continue like after the couple is together.
Okay.
I don't know if this is one.
I don't think this one does.
It's sort of reached a nice like conclusion point. So the only thing that would be is like, it'd be nice to see what happens down the road, but
maybe it doesn't say that it's ended.
Mm-hmm. It's still ongoing manga.
Mm-hmm. There's 7 volumes right now.
7?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. I don't know how many volumes were adapted, but does it say on the Wikipedia page there?
About what?
How many volumes were adapted when the anime was made?
No.
Okay. Well,
it
hey.
says as of April 2023, 7 volumes have been released.
Let's see.
They usually don't give a lot of info on manga on the Wikipedia. I was just more, sometimes the anime section is like, this anime was released and it covers the first so many volumes. But it doesn't. I'm not seeing that on there. So we'd have to ask somebody in the know or read the manga, which maybe I'll read this manga. It feels weird, like if the show covered most of it, I wouldn't really want to read the manga. Gotcha.
If they were like, oh no, there's like shit tons of manga after this and we didn't get like a good conclusion, then I might be like, well,
this feels like it's covered what is out. I don't know a whole lot, but I feel like this is about 7 volumes. This could be about 7 volumes worth of material.
Yeah, I'd have to look. Oh well, if there's more, great. If there's an OVA 10 years later, great.
Cool.
If there's nothing else, I'm fine.
Sure.
I'm content with this show. 7 out of 10.
Uh-huh.
Did its job.
Yep.
Clocked in, did its job, clocked out.
I am appeased.
Okay. Well, you can follow us on Twitter at anime_territory. You can tweet at us and I'll send you a sticker. If you're in the US, I'll mail you one. It's just of our logo. I like it. It's a good sticker. I've got too many of them. You can't buy like 10. You have to buy 120. Then we've got a YouTube anime territory where you can find all of our episodes plus any a lot of the stream archives. I'm pretty slow about getting the stream archives put up. Mm-hmm. We stream occasionally. Right now I'm playing, my friend of the show, Dylan Rowe, is playing Final Fantasy X on my PlayStation and I'm watching. We've had 2 episodes of that so far. Maybe 3. Actually, I want to say, yeah, something like that. It's just 2. But that is that's gonna be slow going, just because Dylan is got a bunch
busy.
Yeah, he's got 3 kids and a wife and a full-time job that he sometimes has to be on call for, and he's in a darts league.
He's an adult.
Is he? He really doesn't feel like it sometimes.
It's true.
But sometimes we'll also stream other stuff. You can find us on anywhere podcasts are at. If you're watching this on YouTube and you would prefer to just listen to us, you can just find us on Spotify, Google, iTunes, whatever that place is called. But you are now leaving the anime territory.
Goodbye.